What? Is he licking a wall? He's actually licking a wall. Why is he licking a wall? Anyone can hate on Wuthering Heights. It's a terrible book. It's very easy to hate. But to hate on Wuthering Heights, like I do, requires passion. It requires determination. It requires grit. Hello and welcome to Spinster's Library. I'm Claudia and I have been a certified Wuthering Heights hater for many years. Today I'll be watching and reacting to the latest trailer for the upcoming movie adaptation of Wuthering Heights. Why am I doing this to myself? Frankly, that's none of your business. Let's go. This trailer has been out for 2 days at time of recording and I have not seen it, nor, weirdly, any discourse about it. So let's create some. Okay, 2 things. Firstly, adore the hair. Is it historically accurate? Probably not. Catherine looks like she's about to go to a festival, but purely aesthetically, love the hair.
What should you do?
Secondly, this is clearly a woman in her mid-30s. I see what they were trying to do with like the thick eyebrows and the rosy lips, but that does not make her look like a teenager. As it happens, he also looks like a man who's seen things. Heathcliff and Catherine, roughly the same age in the book. And to be fair, they kind of look the same age here as well. So we can just imagine that instead of teenagers, these are millennials who never grew out of their emo phase. With that in mind, maybe we can get through this. But still, the beard, the hair, this is not how they looked. People talk about Instagram face a lot when it comes to women, but this is an Instagram man. This is a man with a well-curated feed of mostly nature pictures from his walks in the woods, with the occasional story about a fun family get-together or a night out with friends to show that the mortgage he's just taken on hasn't withered away his soul completely. It's easy for me to shit on this because I hate Wuthering Heights, as we've established. But the only thing worse than adult Heathcliff's hair is possibly child Heathcliff's hair. I cannot get over the indie singer-songwriter look. This is a man who wrote his latest album while camping out in New Zealand. He's about to drop a surprising hit single about a girl that he loved but never told her, and now she's married someone else. Her hair is obviously as historically inaccurate as his, but I kind of love it. No, nope, 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 nope. What in the TikTok shop is that dress? I have talked before about how the marketing of this film as a Valentine's film is already very bad news. And I feel like anyone watching this will know why. We do not have to reiterate the reasons of Wuthering Heights definitely not being a love story, definitely not being a romance. Anyone who goes into the book expecting a romance is either come out of it disappointed or with a very fucked up notion of relationships. We don't have to go over the details again, right? We all know. We know. So why is this the marketing strategy they've chosen? I can feel the cry of pain, not of her having her corset done up by a maid while holding on to a piece of furniture. No, I can hear the cry of pain of the collective historical costuming community. Here's my shout out to you. My heart goes out to you. I know you're suffering. I feel you. I see you. and make sure you talk to someone about this, okay? Do not bottle this up, because it will hurt you much more than it hurts her. Okay, we have seen this shot in the preview. No, it wasn't a preview. It was like set pictures that were leaked or published. And my initial assessment of this being like a Timu Princess Diana wedding dress still remains. There were a few optimists, and honestly, I admire you for going through the world with that attitude. But there were a few optimists when those set pictures were leaked that were convinced that with editing and filming and all of the technology and miracle of modern filmmaking and all of the budget that's going into this film, that this would look better. Well, here's your reality check. Oh my goodness, just when I thought nothing else could surprise me, boom, organza.
Heathcliff is gone, you must accept.
Okay, now her hair looks maybe a little more historical than what we've seen on Catherine so far, but that's because this is Victorian hair, right? This sort of sleek, tied back, very strict middle part. Again, I'm not a fashion, I'm not a beauty historian, but that's like 1850s, 1860s style Victorian. So we're at least a little bit closer to the time period that the story is actually set in, which is, of course, the late 18th century. We're still like 70 years off. Okay, what is that lipstick? I need it. She doesn't need it. A lady in the 18th century does not need that shade of lipstick, but I do. So how's that fair? Oh, God. All right. So as I talk a little bit more about how this show is definitely getting the Bridgerton treatment, let's just, for no reason whatsoever, hold it on this frame. His trousers look like he's just finished painting a wall. That's probably the least controversial thing that Heathcliff has ever done. Anyway, as we can see, the fashion, the hair, these are all deliberate choices, right? We can't go at this film and at this film's aesthetic and say, I can't believe they didn't know that women in the late 18th century didn't wear beach wave hair and mauve lipstick. Of course they knew. The people who costume these films, the people who do the makeup, they are much more knowledgeable about this shit than I am, and probably more knowledgeable about the shit than you are. This is an aesthetic choice that's made deliberately, not out of ignorance, but as a choice to set this apart from the historical period. I don't agree with that choice. I think it's a bad choice, and I think they should have made different choices, but it is a deliberate choice. No one looks at the TikTok dress or the Dream in Organza or the Bridgerton style glittery red cape and thought, yes, I'm sure that's exactly what Emily Bronte had in mind when she wrote her terrible book. This is made to appeal to a certain type of audience. I don't know who that is. It's certainly not me, but then I'm the wrong person to ask because the original book also doesn't appeal to me. Even the grass looked fake. Oh God, I cannot. I adore that hair. Just forget everything I've said just now, because that hair is, like, as soon as I've turned the camera off, I'm going to try and do that, just so you know. And it's so weird to see the contrast between her and Heathcliff and like all the other characters who they've sort of tried to make look somewhat Regency. Hey, maybe that's the approach of the film. Maybe Catherine and Heathcliff are like out of time. They don't belong in their time and place, and that's why they look like they've just started a couple's TikTok account. There are no words. There are no words, and yet I'm recording a reaction video, therefore I must find words. Otherwise, this would just be me staring at this specific frame, drifting slowly into despair, and none of us want that. So, in the spirit of keeping my sanity, I'm going to continue this caption. Inspired by the greatest love story Emily Bronte wished she'd written, but instead she wrote a pile of crap that for some reason has become a beloved classic. Inspired by the greatest love story that's in your head, but not actually on paper. Wait, was that actual vinyl? I don't know if this trailer has already worn me down so much, but like, I can get behind this. I think the greatest love story caption sort of broke my brain, and now I'm looking at an actual vinyl and chiffon dress and going, yeah, I can see it. The sunglasses in that frame, and I'm again going to try and freeze that because no, we've gone too far. Never mind, we've all seen the sunglasses, we'll remember the sunglasses. The sunglasses, probably the best part of this film. That's my prediction. Was that little gemstones on her face? Yep. It's bad, it's bad, it's bad. It's not just bad visually, and I know we focused on the visuals a lot, but look, this is a trailer reaction, right? I can't actually say a whole lot about the writing, except the bits of dialogue that we've heard are bad. And I mean, this is adapting a book that I already think is bad, and yet they've somehow made the few snippets of dialogue that we've heard actually worse, because what the hell is this?
Where is the obstacle?
Where is the obstacle? It's here. I'm a Wuthering Heights hater, which means I've only read this book like 3 or 4 times. And that means I don't actually know if this is a bit of dialogue taken from the novel or not. If not, it's bad dialogue. If it's taken from the novel, it's bad dialogue. Whatever our souls are made of, his and mine are the same. Actually, that feels kind of Emily Bronte-ish. If it isn't, then apologies to her dead soul. Actually, no apologies. I don't need to apologise to Emily Bronte. If anything, she needs to apologise to all of us. I've already forgotten what the first part of this sentence was, by the way. Take any form. Oh, is that like a tagline? Like, Wuthering Heights, take any form. Like, for example, take the form of someone who's not going to the cinema to watch this. Not me, obviously. I'm going to be the first to get a ticket. That's the other thing, right? Heathcliff is notoriously not a good man. He's not a good guy. He has very few redeeming qualities. The only redeeming quality in this film that we've seen so far of Heathcliff is the abs. That is the only good thing he's got going for him. And I'm pretty sure the abs aren't in the book either. This trailer is telling us this is not a good guy, but we've not really seen him do anything but sort of smoulder. And smouldering is not a crime. Also, is that a literal 2 piles of like AI generated bottles in the background of this frame? Oh my god, I fucking adore all of the hairstyles. Like, I hate them because no one had the hair like this in the 1780s, but I want a tutorial on this. All of that, what we've just seen, very, very traditional historical drama, sort of like you always have to have a man riding a horse through a storm screaming. If you don't have a man riding a horse through a storm screaming, is it really a historical drama? Obviously they didn't end up marrying, but spoilers. But he probably should take her last name. Heathcliff Earnshaw. Sounds fake. Yeah, okay. What? Is he licking a wall? He's actually licking a wall. Why is he licking a wall? I'm trying to focus on the hairstyle, but I can't get over the wall licking. Why?
So kiss me, and let us both be damned.
It's incredible how her eyes look completely different in this shot than in any other close-up of her face. Okay, I'm so gonna get copyright struck for this music, aren't I? Original songs by Charlie XCX. I haven't talked about the music at all because I like the music just fine. Modern music in historical drama is, in my opinion, a less intrusive way of connecting history with modern audiences. They've tried to do this in all aspects of this film, clearly. They've tried to do this with the dialogue, they've tried to do this very jarringly with the aesthetics and with the music. I think with the music it's most successful because what you see, ideally, in the perfect historical drama with modern music is you see a scene unfolding that you can't really picture yourself in because you, with your modern life and your modern sensibilities, cannot imagine being a woman in Yorkshire in the late 18th century. So when you hear a piece of music that speaks to you in the musical language that you grew up with or that you are accustomed to, that is like a shortcut to connecting what you see with your eyes with what you feel with the part of your brain that makes music emotional. And I think that's well done. I like it when drama does that because not everyone can connect with music of the late 18th century. Obviously, you can put an emotionally devastating Mozart behind some of these scenes, but for most people, there's still a level of disconnect between their own musicality and their own emotions connected to music and Mozart. And that's fine. So I am, broadly speaking, in favor of modern music in historical drama. So original songs by Charlie XCX, pre-order Wuthering Heights, the album now, to me, is the least controversial, the least problematic, and possibly the best part of this trailer other than Catherine's hair. Catherine's hair, incredible. Doesn't belong in this film, but I love it. Come undone only in theatres, Valentine's Day 2026. Well, I guess I know what I'll be doing on Valentine's Day 2026. I'll be in the cinema, hating on every second of this film. I've had more to say about this 2.5-minute trailer than I thought. Thank you for watching. Bye.